Have you ever been in a situation where you're in the middle of a conversation with someone when suddenly you forget a word? You wanted to say something, it's on the tip of your tongue, but the word just can't come out. So you blank out, you freeze, and you spend a little too much time thinking, and suddenly you're a little nervous. Like, oh crap, suddenly you forget everything that you just wanted to say. Has this ever happened to you?
Hey guys, before we return to the video, I just want to tell you that ESA is now open for application. So if you are a professional or an expat who need to urgently speak English in your life, make sure that you check this out because it's going to be super interesting. So go on the website, click apply now, and we will get in touch with you if you guys are a fit into this program. So back to the video and enjoy.
This happened to one of my clients earlier this week, and this also happens to everyone. Literally everyone. To native speakers, to people who are still learning English, to anybody. It happens even in your native language. What I'm saying is, it's totally normal for this to happen. The good news is that forgetting a word is actually part of the process of remembering this word in the long term. No, that's a little bit confusing. Let me repeat that again. Forgetting a word is actually part of the process of remembering it long term. So your brain is learning, your brain is searching, your brain is trying to connect the dots. So instead of thinking, oh my god, I'm failing, people are gonna think I'm stupid for forgetting that word. I think I'm stupid for forgetting that word. Stop thinking that way and start reframing it as, my brain is in the process of learning this word. I'm in the middle of learning this word for real. Or like, this is a way for my brain to store it in my long-term memory. Okay, so now we're past the reframing or like shifting your mindset about it. What do you actually do when you find yourself in this situation? So the first thing that you can do is to just own it. Just to admit that you actually forgot that word and understand that this is a normal thing. You can just kind of like laugh it off and like, oh my god, I cannot remember this word for the life of me, you know, like pretty sure like the other person would also just be understanding about it because again, this happens to everyone. I'm pretty sure you have had the experience, this other person have had the experience, whether or not it's English or in another language that they speak. You know, this is again a normal process, a normal thing to happen. Also, laughing it off, just kind of like, oh my god, I completely forgot this word. It shows confidence. It shows that you're not ashamed of your, let's say, shortcomings, you know? So just own it. Don't get nervous about it. Just kind of like joke about it and laugh it off. The second thing that you can do is to find a different way to explain it. For instance, let's say you forget the word microwave. So instead of thinking like, instead of stopping the conversation of like, oh man, I completely forgot that word, and then you just stop talking entirely, or just like changing the topic, try to think about how another way to describe it. I heat up my leftovers in that, you know, appliance or in that thing or that box that is used to heat up food. What do you call that? You know, maybe the other person would say, oh, is it a microwave? And then boom, maybe you remember it that way. You know, you can even like use your hand, like, oh, that thing, you know, and then you open thing and then you put the food in, or use different words, or maybe you can even say it in your native language. Yeah, in my native language, we call it this, you know, maybe they would be able to guess what it is in English. The most important thing is to not stop the conversation, because having a conversation is more than just getting every single word perfect. And let's say after the conversation and like you've gotten your point across, this word still doesn't pop up in your brain, and then you can say, oh my god, this is going to bother me all day. I can't even remember the word. And then what you can do is to look it up, you know? Or maybe it will come to you all of a sudden, like, all right, the word is microwave, and that is actually amazing because then that's a way for your brain to lock in that word in your long-term memory. Again, forgetting a word and then remembering it is the entire process. So now, let's say you're done with the conversation, you've looked up the word and then you remember it. What can we do to prevent this from happening in the future? Or maybe not prevent it completely, but reduce the amount of times this happens in the future. you can always review and note down the words that slips your mind. This is pretty obvious and it's the easiest thing that you can do. You have your phone, you will always have your phone with you, and let's say whenever you forget a word, just write it down. And then instead of writing the definition of a certain word, let's say microwave, instead of writing the translation in your native language, you can describe it yourself. An appliance to heat up your food. And then let's say for words that you keep forgetting, what you can do is to create a sentence that is relevant to your life. Let's say you keep forgetting the word deadline. You know, how can you make a sentence that you can directly apply to your life? You can say, oh, deadline. So later that day, I could tell myself, I have a deadline on Friday and I cannot miss it because my boss is going to kill me. So just practicing it in context really would help your brain to remember it in the long term. So again, always remember it with context. So I hope that this video can remind you and reassure you that forgetting a word is okay and it's just part of the learning process or the remembering process. So next time you find yourself in this kind of situation, don't panic, normalize it, just take a breather and then just laugh it off if you remember a word. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you next time in another video. Until then, take care and good luck. Bye.